Hi and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So for today we have an interesting topic and it's about science. Science has literally become the new religion, and people nowadays take science as an objective truth but don't realize it is the same as any other religion. In the same way that the church used to kind of control the society in a way that it dictated what people thought about the world, and the church kind of gave ground to reality. Like, people had an explanation and people needed the explanation. In the same way nowadays, because people notice that there is no guy in the clouds, and they notice that the world is not how the church portrays it as. So the science became the new religion. Of course, science is more holistic than, for an example, Christianity or any other religion is, but it still doesn't make it any more objective or any more true. Science as a perspective is as limited as Christianity, because that's what perspectives are. Perspectives are just limited views of reality, and they are completely subjective to the scientist, to the one who is doing the science. Not only that, but you're also trusting the scientists that do that science in the same way that, for an example, people used to trust prophets and priests in church. In the same way you have now scientists who do their science. Like 99.9% of the people don't do any science and any exploration of this reality. So in the same way you trust them. And the biggest misconception that people have about science is that they don't realize that we as human beings aren't an objective observer of this reality, but we are the reality itself. We are completely subjective. Like, notice that science is just another form of exploration and observation, which also has its own metaphysical assumptions. For things to make sense, there needs to be a common ground on which we can ground those things that we explore. So the science is a construct. We constructed the science as a method, but who, who is the supervisor of us who then says, okay, you now you have the best version of science and now your science is pure objective? Like, obviously we just assume that our science is the best method, in the same way that people assume that Christianity is the best method. But we aren't able to step out of this game as a whole and see that science as a religion, they are both in the same way. Maybe they don't seem the same, and they aren't, of course, but they have the same background and they have the same motivation, and they are made in the same form of beliefs. For an example, when some priest had their own beliefs and conclusions and said, for an example, there comes this miracle that happens, and it says, oh, it's a will of God, and the God now tells us we should do this, or we should go to war, or that person will go to hell. So people they interpreted their what reality is, and they said this is a miracle, and they interpreted it as this is God. And now we have science who does the same. we see something happens in the laboratory or whatever, we see it with our telescopes or whatever method we use, we just experience something and then we make conclusions on what it means, and it basically, we try to fit it in our own already made model we have of our reality. And of course our assumptions and our conclusions as limited beings will be limited, and we try to figure out reality which is unlimited. So of course it's mission impossible, because it's not possible with limited tools to discover and uncover the reality which is unlimited. Only when you are able to transcend all the limited tools and see from the unlimited can you see the unlimited. Of course science is a more developed religion, but in the end it also has a survival agenda, and it also very much depends on who does the science, and it also is developed by people who are not perfect and not objective and not outside of this reality. In the same way that you can't trust your dog to do your science, you would expect that we would notice that that we aren't the most perfect beings who are able to discover the truth. But when you transcend the humanness in you, and when you are able to see that you are actually consciousness, and when you're able to see through all the human lenses that are and perceptions that are being put onto the consciousness, and when you're able to look from the consciousness, then you're able to see the whole truth. Or like I said, when you transcend the limited, you're able to see unlimited. And of course, if you're attached to science in the same way that religious people are attached to their religion, you might not be able to see that science is a form of belief. You will defend it in the same way that religious people defend their religion. Only when you're not attached to any particular idea, and when you're open-minded to actually explore what the truth is, and you're not attached to any science or any form of religion or belief, can you be open-minded enough to see spirituality as the way of realizing the truth. And of course, if you don't know the truth, you have to kind of take it on at least as a possibility that spirituality can show you the truth. Like you might say that, oh well, if everything is a belief and everything is a religion, then how is your spirituality different? And how can you say that what you say and what you claim are not your beliefs and thoughts and a religion in the same way as science and all the stuff? So just be open-minded enough to realize that it is possible, to see something as it is, and see something without any beliefs, or know the truth which is outside of all the beliefs, and that you can actually know something. So like I said, spirituality is not about forming any beliefs, and it's actually about seeing through all beliefs. I talked about it in many of my videos, but when you detach from all the beliefs you have and all the thoughts you have, and when you're able to transcend the human perceptions, and when you're able to not look through the, like I said, lenses that we create for ourselves, that the ego creates, then what is left is spirituality. Then you can explore the higher dimensions of this reality. You can see through, like I said, perceptions, and you can see exactly what this is, and it's consciousness. Religious people can call it God, but I don't like the word. Scientists may call it the universe or consciousness. But like I said, what I prefer is consciousness because that's the best word we have for it. When people talk about the universe, people think about something which is outside of them, like the universe, and we live in this universe. But we don't. You don't think about it, the universe, as yourself, because you are the part of the universe. And in the same way, people use the word God, they think of someone outside of them. They think of this God in the clouds, old guy with the angels, dancing angels in the heaven. So we think of something which is outside of us, and we think of something which is not here. But when I talk about consciousness, I'm talking about what you experience, what you see. And when you're able to realize what you see and what you experience for what it truly is, when the awareness is able to focus on itself, that's enlightenment, and that's the truth. That's knowing the truth. And of course, um, then trying to share that knowing can be expressed in the form of, in the language, like I speak to you right now, and I do form some kind of thoughts, and I talk in a limited way, of course. But what I speak of, I'm not trying to make you believe something or understand something in your mind, like you try to understand and figure something out. I'm trying to guide you. I'm not trying to make you believe in the stuff that I say and in the words that I say. Like religious people take that as their beliefs, like there's this God, there's this heaven. They imagine something. But what I'm trying to do is to show you and to guide you towards the truth, not to make you memorize and accept the guidance and say, okay, yeah, it's all consciousness. But I'm trying to point you to the unlimited. I'm not trying to explain you the unlimited so you can memorize it and take it as a dogma. Only if you use it as a guidance and not as a dogma does it make any sense. In the same way, religion. If you use religion to guide you to the God or the universe for scientists, and if you're not stuck in fantasizing it and in creating your fantasies around it, then can you only know it. And that's the key difference between spirituality and religion or science, is that the teaching is not about the teaching. The teaching is about the meaning. It's about showing you what the teaching is about. It's the map, not the territory. Or if I wanted to show you some part of the world, I can give you a map, but you can't get stuck in the map or your Bible and think that is the truth, because that is just the map to the truth, which is the world that you're trying to explore. So yeah, just notice the limitations of religion and science, and notice, the point is to notice that science is a religion. And if you're not attached to the science, if you're not if your whole identity is not structured in a way that you are this scientific person and you only trust the science and the scientific people, if you're not attached to it and if you're truly open-minded, then you will explore, and you will explore spirituality, and you can find out the truth. And you can also notice that science is extremely useful, but usefulness does not dictate the truth, and usefulness is completely subjective. What is useful for us humans is completely not useful for dogs. So use your science to get use and to survive better in this world. That's all great, and that's all, that's fine. But don't get attached to, and don't get stuck in thinking that it is showing you the truth, because it's not, and you won't figure out the truth with your, like I said, limited methods. But you have to transcend it all, and spirituality teaches us how to transcend it all. And if you're interested in spirituality, um, I'm here to guide you. Or you can search for many other spiritual teachers and gurus who also know the truth and are guiding others towards the truth. Of course, there are tons of fake ones who are trying to give you beliefs. So yeah, there is an art in seeing through people and seeing, are they giving you beliefs, and are they trying to convert you to their another form of religion, or are they teaching you spirituality? If you're interested in spirituality, I will talk a lot about it in my future videos, and I would recommend you try learning, at least be open-minded and learn about it, and detach from the beliefs you have already about science and about religion, because that is the only way you can move forward to the truth. Yep, that's it. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. And see you in the next one. Bye.